And here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow comic book collaborators. My name is Chris, and this, of course, is my channel, We Love Comics. And this is a video I have not done in a while, where I do a series, and you can check my playlist if you want to see many others that I've done, where I show 5 comics. Some of them are, they're minor keys. There's not anything like an AF-15 here, but books you can get for easily under $100. Some of these you could probably get in the $20 and under range if you search for deals. So before I start, excuse me, I want to make sure I give people plenty of time to realize that the video is live. I always want to make sure I start the video, first of all, by thanking each and every one of you. And also to mention that I am still selling my comic book mystery boxes, so if you're interested in those, just go to my dashboard, look at the banner picture on the bottom right-hand corner of the banner picture. The second little icon you see, they're miniature icons. It's a little black, almost like a dartboard kind of thing. That will bring you to my other website where I make and sell organic products and stuff like that. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see the section for the comic books, and it gives a listing of what each package involves with. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. And if anybody could share that link, it really helps out. Interesting week this week. It's a whole thing of loss and gain, so I did lose one of my DJ jobs this week, but I am starting a new one tonight, so when one door closes, another door opens, so always try and stay positive, so I'm looking forward to that. But I always make sure I say hello to the people that arrive here early, so I always encourage people, if you see I'm about to do a live stream, come on in, join into the chat. You will most likely get your name called, especially if you are one of the people that stays until the end, because I also do a surprise subscriber shout-out, so quick shout out to all of my my power viewers and ultra power viewers. Let's say hello to them. So we got Michael, we got Daniel, we've got the natural boy Scott Watson, we got Tracy's Best, I haven't seen you in a while, hello. We got Thomas, we got John Alfonso, we got Love Comic Art, we've got another John, we have another John, so 2 Johns, Hino Hosa and Valenzuela, so welcome. Gizmo's here, CJ, Kachina, interesting choice of a name. Captain Crunch, always good to see you. Tori, Jose, Gray, Edward, Herbert. Raul, Horror Breakdown, good to see you. Lewis T. Sunday Heat Collection, FJC81, Probe 186. Devil Dog, Anthony, Webhead, Richard, Love Travel, Tony, Ray, Anthony, and many, many more. Welcome. Let me put on the video camera so I can show the 5 books. And as always, if you appreciate these kind of videos, if you help share them, it helps get these videos out to people that are not subscribed to my channel or don't know it exists. So the more you help me, the more I can help other people in the community, which means thumbs up help as well. So if anybody could be so kind to do that, if they feel I deserve it, I will appreciate it. And yes, I just gave myself a haircut, got tired of all that long hair. It was starting to curl up on me, and it's been a while since I've had that. So I see we got plenty of people in here, so I Have Telepathy is saying, show me the books. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. With all the Spider-Man stuff going on these days, there's going to be some desire for mini key books. This is one that pretty much goes unnoticed. And if you ever get the opportunity to add this to your collection, not a major key book, but it is a #1. This is back from, I believe, 1978. It's in the mid-70s. Mid to late 70s. This is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue #1. Again, there's no major event in here, but it is a #1 issue, especially for people who are looking for books they can afford. You can easily find this book for under $20. I paid $17.50 for this book. So, if you can't afford The Amazing Spider-Man 300s of the world, or, to a lesser extent, some of the other key issues, and especially like stuff like Amazing Spider-Man #1, this is the next best thing. Many people will look over this. And is this the first tarantula? I wasn't sure if that was the case on that one. Let me know if that's the case. No, this isn't the first, because, see, as it says right here, it's the return of the tarantula. So this is not his first appearance, though. But it is a #1 issue, one that you can easily get, so you could brag to your friends you have the first issue of Spider-Man. Just don't say the word amazing. Alright, this is a book I bought the day it came out, but this is definitely a book that might show some peak interest. This is X-Men Number 4, obviously this is from the 90s. This is not the original back in the days. But still, this has the first appearance of Omega Red. There have been a lot of rumors and speculations that this character at least deserves a chance once, they start getting the X-Men in the MCU. So this might be a book to pick up because of the fact you can get this cheap. You could probably get this book for $10 to $15. Now, I'm not saying he's going to end up in a movie, but if he does, this book would turn into a $50 to $100 book overnight. So this is definitely a book that is worth taking the chance on because you could buy it cheap. And I have telepathy says 90s X-Men books. Well, there are plenty of old books that no one cared about, and then all of a sudden they had a movie or a TV show, and then all of a sudden they became something that is very valuable. So telepathy, the idea is to buy them while you could find them in the dollar bin, because if there's an announcement for this character, the first Omega Red, it's not going to stay that way. So the idea is to try and get these when nobody cares about them. Try and reverse your thinking of only buying stuff when it's already been announced or when it's hot. The idea is to try and get them and speculate to see if something happens, because if it doesn't, then you know what? What did you spend? $5? It's worth investments. Buy low and sell high. The majority of people buy high and sell as it's going low. So yes, this is a book right now that you could probably find in a dollar bin. It's probably a book that most people don't care about. But I promise you, and I say if Omega Red ends up in a Marvel Cinematic movie, and I'm not saying he is, but if, that book is going to be a $100 book overnight. So the idea is buy it when it's cheap, buy it when nobody cares about it, because if it doesn't work, you didn't invest lots of money. So retrain your thinking. All right, this is a book that I'm surprised it's as low as it is. Definitely a book overlooked, because most people want Miss Marvel 18, which is the first full appearance. But this is Miss Marvel number 16, which is the first cameo of Mystique. So this is the first time she ever appears. Now, I think she's kind of like, you can't tell who she is, but you have an idea because she's kind of like, she can shift her appearances. But this is the one that's so overlooked. Again, you could easily get this book for under $20, $25, and that's in mid-grade. I mean, I bought these years ago. I spent $19.99 on this book, and this is easily in very fine condition. So it's another book that people overlook. Miss Marvel, controversial and everything, but, there are people who still love this character. But Mystique is a well-known character, and this is the first time you ever see her. Again, there's a cameo. Miss Marvel 17 is the second cameo appearance, and Miss Marvel 18 is her first full appearance. That's the one that's most desirable. But again, the idea is to try and get books while they are cheap, so you're not overspending, especially if you can't afford number 18. These are all speculation books, so again, you're taking the chance on these, and there are risks involved, so keep that in mind. But again, if you pay for them cheap and it doesn't work out, you didn't invest. You didn't have to sell your house to be able to get these books. And if you did, you have a very tiny house. All right, there's another speculation book. Since they are going into the Phase 4 very soon with a lot of interstellar space kind of stuff, this is a book that may be overlooked. There were rumors a while ago. I bought this book back in like 2016. I had some information about them possibly appearing at one point. But this is X-Men number 107. This is the first appearance of the Starjammers. So again, we don't know if these characters are going to ever appear. But again, if you buy them when the books are cheap, you're not risking a lot of capital to find out. This book, again, you could probably get for around the $30 to $40 range in mid-grade. Since I bought these years ago, I only paid $13.90. You never know. If you look in a comic store, if you look in an antique shop, you look at a pawn shop, definitely don't look in a porn shop. You might find things other than comics. But if you look in a pawn shop, garage sales, you might find this slipping under the radar. So again, probably on eBay, you're looking the $30 to $40 range. Of course, I'm not talking 9.8s because those are going to be dramatically higher. But again, a book that most people are not thinking about and can be caught under the radar. And if they end up appearing in a movie, guess what happens to the value of the book? So if you think it's worth a chance, pick it up. Now this one to me is a no-brainer. This is one of those, it is so undervalued, I cannot figure it out. And this is one of those that's very debatable. There's a lot of controversy in this book as far as whether it's a cameo or a full appearance. But this is the number one of this series, and I'll have many more of these, and I've had others in the past, so check out my playlist. But this is X-Men Annual number 14. This is the first quote-unquote cameo of Gambit. And when I talk about the controversy, if you actually read this book, normally a cameo is where a character is only shown like once, like in Hulk 180, where you only see Wolverine at the back panel, or you see him a couple of times and he has no words. Like, in other words, he's like kind of, or she is a background character. Or like in the case of Mary Jane, you don't see her because she's in the shadows in her first cameo. In this book, he's shown in several panels. He has several panels where he's speaking. So this should not be his cameo. But that's how they labeled it, and that's how most people agree with it. And because of that, you could get this book for a steal. I bought these, again, I bought these years ago, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I only paid $15 for this book. You could probably spend less than $50 on this book easily in very fine to near mint range. I mean, a 9.8, you're only talking a couple of $100. To me, I think this is a steal because who knows if Sony's going to end up doing the Gambit movie. That's been going off and on. But he is, especially if the MCU decides to do, and I hope they do, the 90s run of X-Men like they did in the cartoons. Because I always loved the way they made Cyclops. And maybe Jubilee will actually finally get her day instead of being on the cutting room floor or just somewhere in the background. And I love the 90s Rogue. So there's so much potential with these books. Gambit was a key 90s X-Men character, and this is a book you could get pretty cheap. So I would highly recommend adding this one to your collection. I mean, who knows if they'll ever change whether this is a full or just a cameo, because again, if you read the book, he's in several panels and he talks several times, so he's not just some background character. This book is kind of controversial in that way, but like I said, you could get this cheap. Because you never know, one day that might change, and then all of a sudden the value of this goes up. Because think of Hulk 180, that book's starting to rise too. Because nowadays, if you see a brand new book where somebody has a cameo appearance, everybody goes crazy for that book nowadays. But people overlook the past for some reason, only because that's what everybody does. So think outside the box. Don't always think the way everybody else does. So those are the 5 books. We got X-Men Annual number 14. This is the first cameo of Gambit, quote unquote. We got X-Men number 107, first appearance of the Starjammers. We've got Miss Marvel 16, first cameo appearance of Mystique. We have X-Men number 4. This is the first appearance of Omega Red. This is the 90s version. So yes, some 90s comics can be worth some money. You never know. And last but not least, the first one I showed, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 1. So those are the 5 books for today. I don't want to make this video too long. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out. If you want one, I mean, normally you don't have to hit subscribe, but hopefully you will. We're going to give today's surprise subscriber shout out to Raul Mendieta. So forgive me if I butchered that. So Raul, you are today's surprise subscriber shout out. So if you're one of my power viewers, that means you watch the video from beginning to end. If you're one of my ultra power viewers, that means you watch every video from beginning to end. Now remember, there's no way for me to verify, so we are going by the honor system. Don't claim something you haven't achieved. Make sure you tell people that you actually do watch the video. Don't just say it. So if you are, make sure you put it in the comment section once this uploads. Give a shout out to our shout out, which is Raul, so hopefully he's still here to see it. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. And telepathy, you do not have ultra telepathy. You haven't been first in a long time, my friends. So you have to work on your skills. But at least you have telepathy, and we'll leave it at that. So thank you very much, guys. And Ray Martinez says, never, new viewer, watched the last 3. There you go. Welcome, Ray. I appreciate that. And to be an Ultra Power viewer, that just means the videos that you've watched, you watch them from beginning to end. It doesn't mean that you watched every single video. I don't think there's any... You know, the funny thing is the most reliable people that I know will at least come to my channel will be the ones that don't like it. They go to every video. But you guys are the ones that are here watching it and showing and promoting. The thumbs up really mean a lot to me. And that's it. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Just don't hit any of the people next to you. We got Studio Fitness from Scotland. Welcome. And Tracy Best says, I regret not buying more Shazam #1s. And that's my key. And that's a good point. I was telling people for years, excuse me, to get books like Marvel Spotlight 32, Shazam #1, Ultimate Fallout 4, Edge of Spider-Verse #2. And most people didn't want to get them because they were cheap and nobody cared about them. It can take years sometimes, so you have to have patience in this game. If you're one of those people that thinks every book is going to be $100 overnight, you're going to be disappointed more than you are happy. So you got to reprogram. You have to have patience if you want to thrive in this community for investments. If you're doing it just for reading, then it doesn't matter. But what I always say is, even if you're doing it for reading, why would you want to spend more for a book when you don't have to? Because, like, for example, Hulk 181, if you can't afford that book, don't complain about it if you're just going to read it, because you can get a $1 True Believers issue, or maybe it's up to $5 or $10 at this point. Even if it's $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, that's still cheaper than what a 0.5 Hulk 181 is all about. So the ones that complain about the prices of those books, they're only saying it because they're mad they didn't get it. Because you can easily read it online. You could buy a True Believers of all of the major books, and you could get digital copies. So there's no excuses for those kind of things anymore. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll find out when I see how many thumbs up from you awesome people out there. Another video coming in the next couple of days, so stick around. Hit subscribe, and don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Hopefully you find a couple of these at really good prices. Happy hunting, and enjoy your day. Peace out.